Hey, and welcome to the Jessica Paul podcast. I'm your host, Jess Paul, actress, manifestation expert, and mindset coach. And I'm here to share with you all of my secrets on confidence, success, and the magic of manifestation. If you're ready to dive in deep and see more success in your career, more money in your bank account, and more love in your life, with a whole new level of freedom, then you're in the right place. I'm letting loose on everything you need to take back control of your life, up-level your mindset, and tap into your manifestation powers. I'm so excited that you're here. Hello, you wonderful lot, and welcome back to another episode of the JP podcast. Another week with me, your host, your manifestation mentor, your spiritual bestie, all of the great things to help you manifest that life you freaking love. And I have so much to share with you this week, guys. So much to share. I've been kind of teasing you for I think the past few weeks about some big life updates my end, and I'm going to share them all with you. I'm spilling the tea with you all over a cup of tea. I've got a cup of tea in my hand right now, and we're going to go in on all the crazy life updates in the JP world. And we're also going to be diving in this week about grieving your baby goals. Guys, we're going to be letting go of the goals that are holding us back, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be basically explaining why the goals that you might have right now could be holding you back. I'm going to explain exactly why in this week's episode. It's a very good episode. I've literally been recording all day, guys. I've been recording this money course for you all, and my God, it's just next level. Sometimes I'm just amazed at the content that I create. I watch it back and I'm like, damn, I've learned something myself. I am really excited to bring it to you. But yeah, I've been recording all day, so I've literally just come back in from an evening walk, and I wanted to sit down and record this episode this evening for you because I have got so much recording I've got to get done this week. This money course is coming out very soon. So I've had a little refresh, and now I'm ready to get into today's episode. So we're going to start with our sponsor this week, which is, of course, the money course, a 6-week money mindset course coming your way. So guys, all you have to do is get your name signed up to this wait list, because whilst I was sitting down to record today, I have an even more exciting sponsor. It's not just the money course, although that is the main thing, but I have an even more exciting sponsor, because as I was recording today, I just was sitting there, I was thinking, what do I actually want to do? And I had been getting so many questions from you about this money course, about money manifestation in general. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to release a free event. This is a free money mindset event. And when I say event, I mean, I'm going live. I'm going to go live on Instagram, Facebook, every platform. But it's going to be a big event. And you're all invited. And this is a free event. And basically, I just want to go in on money mindset with you all. I just feel like it's the time. I've said this before. This is why I'm creating this course at the moment. From now until 2023, I'm just going full force in on money mindset with you all, because there is so much freaking fear. I just keep feeling this fear. I mean, I'm not feeling it because I'm not allowing myself to get to that point, but I have felt this fear from family, from friends, from people around me. And I just want you guys to know that it's natural. We're being so heavily conditioned at the moment around money and our economy, and fearing whether we're going to have enough in our bank accounts and all of this. And I just feel like this is the time to shine a light on this work and to share the magic that I've learned around money manifesting, because I completely changed my life through it, and you guys can do exactly the same thing. I'm no one special in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I am a freaking bad bitch, but so are you. Everybody is capable of manifesting this money. So basically, as I was sitting down recording today, I was like, I'm going to bring out a free event. I'm just going to pull all of you guys in for free. We're going to chat money mindset. We're going to just go through all of it. And I'm going to open up the floor for you guys, a big old Q&A. So you can ask me any questions about the course, to see if the course is the right thing for you, to see if you actually want to join in on all the magic. So full transparency, you guys know the course is coming out. You know this money course is going to be available to you very, very soon. But if you want to find out more about it, what's going on inside it, how it's going to ultimately help you, then this is what this free event's going to be about. So I haven't decided on the dates of this event, but it's going to be sometime in November. So basically, just sign your name up on this waitlist. The waitlist is in the link in my show notes in my bio. In my bio. The link is in my show notes. Come on, Jess. This is a foggy brain now because I've been recording all day. But the link is in my show notes. Get your name signed up to this free event because you're not going to want to miss it. We're diving into everything around money, and I want to give you that opportunity to ask me all the questions you need. So go ahead, click that link, sign up, and hopefully we'll see all of you guys there. So life updates, big old updates. Life update for this week, guys. I'm moving to freakin LA. Yes, I'm going. I'm leaving my hometown of Manchester. Already handed in the notice for my flat. Guys, this has been such a fucking huge deal, a massive deal for me over the past, I think it's only been like 3 weeks since I made this major decision in my life. This is what happens when you actually listen to those intuitive hits, and however crazy they might feel in the moment, and you go for them. This is where the universe is going to fully support you. I have gone through so many of these moments in my life where I have done things that are kind of outrageous, kind of like huge risks, that a lot of people in their life have kind of been like, what the heck, Jess? Like, where did this come from? Because I've been slowly telling a lot of my close friends as I've been seeing people what my plan is, and they've been like, boom, that was a mic drop. Like, where has this come from? Because I manifested this gorgeous flat that I'm currently sitting in right now, in South Manchester, and I've been living here for just over a year now, and I've loved it. I've loved my time here, and I've really felt like I've served my time here very well. I've, created this abundance for myself, again, through the money I've manifested, and I've had a really, really enjoyable time here. But I went through and again, I think it was a couple of episodes back, when I cried in that episode, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like something's shifted, something's changed, something massive has happened. I'm telling you guys, we always go through these periods where we have lull periods in our life, or kind of low periods in our life, and then we come up and we're like, boom, we're different humans. That's just normal, that's life, right? We go through these cycles. And I, over the past month or so, couple of months, in fact it was kind of around my birthday that this started happening, so yeah, a month ago, because my birthday was the 23rd of September, so it was where I started going through major shifts in my love life, and dating and relationships, and then major shifts in my identity, and then and I was really vibing with the astrology kind of things that were going on. I think it's because I'm a Libra sun and a Scorpio rising, and we've literally just come through Libra season, and now we're moving into Scorpio season. I'm feeling all the shifts basically. And I did a meditation when I did a bath ritual, and I was doing a meditation in the bath. I think it was on the full moon. Yeah, full moon. And I just had this fucking huge download, and it just literally said, Jess, you need to go. You need to leave. And at first I was like, does that mean go, but keep my flat and go for just a bit of travel? Or does that mean go? And I really sat into my intuition, and it was no, you're moving. You're moving. And even when I say it now, I get goosebumps when I think about it. And this is really a practice in listening into your intuition and taking these massive, massive risks in life, because they will always pay off. It's always scary when you do it, especially when it's quite a huge one, but that you're given these intuitive hits for a reason, guys. And so I kind of was lying in the bath oh my God, I need to hand my notice in for this flat. And then for the whole I think it was it's been 3 weeks since. And for those whole 3 weeks before I handed my notice in, because I handed my notice in literally last week, I was walking around my flat. Every time I'd walk into my flat, I was walking around, and I was thinking, what am I doing? What the hell am I doing? I've got the most gorgeous flat in the city centre, in such an abundant area of Manchester, and I entirely manifested it, and I've loved my time here. And the more I was walking around thinking, what the fuck am I doing? The more I was no, you know what? This is part of my up level. And guys, it's such a huge lesson for us all in really allowing ourselves to move into our up levels, because most of the time, the action that we take before a huge up level, or actually just during a huge up level, is going to seem fucking crazy. It's going to feel absolutely mental to you because it's so far from your current identity or your old identity. So it kind of ties in this decision that I've made and the kind of the big changes that are now happening. It ties in a lot to what this episode is really all about grieving baby goals and actually setting big girl goals. So I'm going to go into that with you guys. But the main gist of my life update is that I'm moving. I'm already on my way. I'm like selling my furniture. I've already handed my notice in. My parents are like, you know, fully supportive of my decision. And I'm going with a number of intentions. Number one, acting career-wise, like there's lots of different things bubbling under the surface there. And number two, with the sitcom that I've written, that I've mentioned a lot on the podcast. If you guys are only just listening to this, like listening to me for the first time, like let's say you've just tuned into this podcast, I'm a TV actress and a TV writer. So that's like another string to my bow that is very much a big part of my life. And so a lot of those dreams and those goals that I've been working towards, like things that have been bubbling under the surface this year for me, are finally like manifesting in a way that I never even really considered would happen. But this is, again, part of letting go of your baby goals. So yeah, guys, that's my life update. I'm moving. I will obviously be keeping you updated with everything that goes on from now until then. And and let's get into today's episode, because today's episode really ties into all of this. So this episode today is all about moving into that next level, guys, and really like just accepting your next level. It's about accepting it and kind of going and actually just being honest with yourself about what your next level actually is, like a freaking boss. And so really, like we're always on a constant pursuit to up leveling and growing. We're expansive beings. That's what we're put on this earth to do. That's why you listen to this freaking podcast, because you want to grow and you want to call more things into your life and you want to hit those new levels. And honestly, this is only something that I kind of like, I had a big like perspective shift recently, which is also a big reason why I made this huge decision to move to LA and do all of these things in my life. And it was when I was chatting to my mum, actually. And I'm very lucky, right, that my mum is one of my spiritual besties. She literally has been through my academy. She came in on my academy. She's done all the work. She understands all this stuff. And she's just basically my biggest rock in life. Like, I love my mum. Shout out to you, mum, because she listens to every single podcast episode as well. But I was actually chatting to my mum, and I don't know whether she knows this has like shifted something huge in me or not. I can't remember whether I've actually spoken to her about this, but it really did shift something. I was like, damn, mum, okay. And basically she just said to me, I was talking about some of my goals that I had, and some of the goals that I've had whilst being in Manchester. Like I said, I've lived in this flat for just over a year, and I've achieved quite a number of things this year. But also this year, I've had to give myself a lot of time and a lot of grace, because I've been working through a lot of shadows. I got incredibly ill. All of this is recorded on the podcast. Like, you literally, I said, it's magic, because you get to see the changes that happen in my life week to week. So yeah, I've had to give myself a lot of grace this year, because I was really ill. I nearly lost my life. And I think I forget that sometimes as well, as I move through with such speed and momentum. I forget that, and I have to remind myself of that. So I've done a lot of things this year, but there's also been a lot of things that haven't manifested for me. And now you guys might be able to relate to this when you move through your life and you're feeling generally good and you're doing all the work, or you're aiming to do all the work. Like maybe there is more areas in your life that you can go deeper into, but you just aren't manifesting the things that you want. And you kind of move through and you end up feeling like you're maybe a little bit of a failure for that reason. You feel like you failed. You feel like, why has it not happened for me? I've been trying really hard. And remember, I don't believe in trying, guys. I believe in just doing. But you might be feeling that. And this is a feeling that I have felt myself like over the course of this year, because this year has been such a different year for me in terms of what I've actually achieved in my business, in my life, in my career. And like I said, gave myself grace for that. But you guys will have noticed I've hardly brought any offers out in my business this year. I've had to take a step back from coaching. I've just had to like readjust. And for that reason, I was chatting to my mum and I was like, oh, like I haven't really done that much this year. And again, that was an ego-based thing to say. We all think these things, guys. These limiting thoughts always come up and we've got to learn how to move through them and manage them. But my mum just said, like, she just asked me the question. She went, Jess, why are you still aiming for the things that you aimed for when you were a teenager? And I was like, boom. That was a bit of a mic drop moment for me, because I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, why am I aiming for this year? Because I was kind of saying to my mum, like, you know, I've not achieved this, I've not achieved that, some of the things in my acting career that I wanted to achieve that I haven't achieved. And she was like, but why are you still aiming for that? Like, why are you still going after those things anyway? And I sort of said to my mum at first, I was like, well, duh, because that's my goal and I've not achieved it yet. So I want to tick it off. I want to tick it off my list, right? And she was like, but Jess, they were your goals years ago. And I sat back and I thought, this is the whole point of expansion and up level and growth, vibrational growth. You can sometimes be growing at a much quicker rate than you think inwardly in your inner world. And so your physical world doesn't know how to quite catch up with that. So in other words, what I mean here is that the reason that you maybe haven't manifested the goals that you've been wanting to manifest right now, and it's going to sound quite controversial to say, but it's because they're fucking beneath you now. They maybe weren't back then. They maybe weren't when you were a teenager or even last year or even 6 months ago. Maybe they weren't beneath you then. Maybe they were genuine high-level goals that you had in your life. But sometimes when you move through life and you go through so much fucking growth and you do the inner work and you're speeding that vibration up, those goals that you had even 6 months ago are not lining up with the version of you that you are today. They're just not lining up with it. You have moved too quickly for those goals. But what happens is our ego-based mind goes, well, it hasn't manifested into my physical reality yet, so therefore I've failed. And I need to tick it off my list and I have to do this goal before I move on to the next goal, right? Now, just as an example, guys, this is what I was kind of getting at when I was talking about my acting career. Like I had some goals, like for example, to get on a Northern soap, for example. Like I'd be fucking perfect for that. You know, I know it. Like I'd be perfect for Hollyoaks. Every single person that has ever seen me ever in a casting have been like, you're perfect for Hollyoaks. Like it's just been a given, and I know that I am. And I know that it's something that I can achieve and probably might achieve one day. But it's also a goal that I had when I was a teenager. And so what's happened is, since I was a teenager, I have grown too much. I have grown so much, like vibrationally in my inner world. That's manifested in lots of different ways in my life. But yet I've still kept that goal the same. And that doesn't make any sense. And what you've got to realize is that because our vibrational reality is moving at a much faster pace than our physical reality is, sometimes it's going to take a while for that physical goal to catch up with us. And so if we're moving too quickly, if we're expanding and growing and learning and, up leveling too quickly, that physical goal doesn't have time or space to come into our reality in that moment. So what we have to do, rather than grieving, rather than kind of like looking back at those goals and going, why hasn't it manifested for me? I want to tick it off my list. You go, well, actually, maybe I should just look at where my vibration is right now. And my vibration is so fucking powerful right now that goal isn't good enough for me anymore. That goal is below me. That goal is beneath me now. And I have to aim higher. And it was only so my mum kind of said this to me. It was a mic drop moment for me. I was like, whoa, yeah, like this makes so much sense. Like what would my next level goals be? If I had manifested those things, what would the next step be for me? What would the next place be that I would want to go to? And rather than ticking things off a list, why don't I just jump to that place now? That's a fucking quantum leap. Why am I holding myself back from my quantum leap? And you've got to ask yourself that question too. The reason your goals might not have manifested for you is because they're fucking baby goals. You need to put your big girl pants on and you need to start aiming higher. And you are capable of doing that. And again, this comes down to a lot of inner work and a lot of shadow work and work on your confidence and your belief system. But I've done that work, guys. I've done a hell of that work. And it again was reinforced to me because I sat down with my writing partner and he just said to me in a very like nonchalant way, like it was just off the cuff, but he was like, yeah, so when we get this script commissioned, like we'll obviously be paid for the next draft. And now I've been working on this sitcom for freaking, oh my God, like a year and a half now, maybe 2 years with my writing partner because I've put my heart and soul into it. And there's been a lot of other things going on at the same time, but we've got it done. And we've done a number of drafts of this script already and we've sent it into American competitions. It's done really well. It's another reason why my intuition was telling me go to LA. But like, he just said it so off the cuff, but I sat back and I went, hang on a sec. Yeah, I can be paid for being a fucking writer. Like, that's who I am. That's the identity I've created for myself. So why can't I be paid for that? Why can't I go to the next level with that? And it was something that I'd never really even considered. And guys, this is the thing. When we're so caught up in those baby goals that we once had, we don't even consider the possibility of more. We don't consider the possibility of jumping, of quantum leaping, of going past that goal. And so I just thought to myself, well, why am I staying in Manchester trying to go after a goal that I had when I was a teenager? It's not that I'm ungrateful. It's not that I don't ever want that goal. Like if someone freaking handed me a contract for Hollyoaks tomorrow, I'd be like, sure thing. See you on set. But like, it's not the be all of my life. It's not like, it's not the top of my, what's the word? Oh gosh, I can't think of the actual thing to say here, but like a glass ceiling. It's not at the top of a glass ceiling. There's so much more above that glass ceiling for me. And it was only through my mum asking me that question and my writing partner, Noah, just off the cuff saying, well, duh, we're going to get paid next time, that I was like, obviously. So then all of the kind of the decision making for me moving to LA, that's been all part of this because I've gone, do you know what? Why can't I move to LA and become a next level screenwriter and get paid for that shit? Why is that a goal that is going to come after the other goals I had? It doesn't have to come after, it can come before it. And so this is really the main gist of this podcast episode, guys, is that you've got to grieve your fucking baby goals. Let go of them, right? Let them go. It's like, it's hard to do because if it's something that you felt so passionate about for so long, it's such a huge part of you, a part of like in your mind right now, it might seem like it's such a huge part of your journey that you want to complete. But the thing is, those things can be completed at another time in your life. Remember, time doesn't even exist. Like, there's no linear timeline in this life. Like, you can achieve it all and more at the same time. So it's kind of just allowing yourself to let go of the baby goals that you had and make space for these bigger goals in your life, these quantum leaps, these jumps that seem kind of crazy to you, and even just allowing and considering the possibility of it. So like I said, your soul knows the difference between the big girl goals and the baby goals. It knows, right? And rather than getting so stuck and stagnant in trying to tick something off a list, just let yourself go bigger. Move into that fuck it phase harder. Like, just say fuck it. Nothing else matters. You know, one thing that has really shifted energetically for me since making that big girl decision about moving to LA, and actually, again, every time I say it, I get goosebumps. Like, making that big girl decision, it's just allowed all attachments for everything else that I've ever had an attachment to in Manchester to just drop the fuck away. I don't feel it anymore. I was sitting in a casting workshop literally the other day. I had a great time in there with a great casting director. And I was just so not bothered. I was just, and not that I wasn't bothered, I loved being there and I was very grateful for it, but I was like, fuck it, I'm moving to LA, I'm gonna be this big time writer. And again, like, might sound delusional, but that's what we're here for. But it like, when I was in there and I was in that energy, of course, the feedback that I then got from this casting director was like, damn, that was great, really enjoyed that from you, loved the vulnerability that you brought out in that character. Like, he was very complimentary of me. It's no coincidence because I was in such a fuck it energy because I'd made such a big girl decision in my life. So whether it is that TV soap role or that 5K that you're wanting to call in if you've got a money goal, or if it's that boy that you really fancy or like girl that you fancy and you're just like, I really want them in my life, why don't you just consider the possibility that you don't need to manifest that right now? You don't need to tick that off right now. What you do need to do is consider that your vibration has gone above and beyond that those goals are beneath you now. So what's the next step? What would the next step be if you had manifested that thing? Where would you be? What would you be aiming for then? And aim for that instead. Don't hold yourself back, guys. And you know what as well? The main thing here is don't be bitter. Be excited. I think this energy of bitterness can come in, this emotion of bitterness, because we can get like that. If it's been however many years, like I said, I've had these goals since I was a teenager. Hasn't happened for me yet. Sure, I'm grateful for everything else that's happened for me, but some things haven't manifested. And we can get so caught up as humans in the things that we haven't got. And again, like leaning into lack around those things, like I haven't got enough of something. And we get bitter by that. We become bitter and jealous, and we look at other people living out that dream and we think, well, why the fuck can't I do it? Rather than leaning into the bitterness, lean into the excitement that that goal is now beneath you. You have moved on too quickly. You are moving too fast. And sit into that bad bitch energy. Go for it. And listen, the reality of this is you could take a massive risk. You could aim for like a big girl goal that your soul knows is that you're supposed to be aiming for right now. And you could fucking fail. That could happen. In my eyes, we never fail and also nothing ever truly goes wrong because that's the path that we were always supposed to go down. The universe has always got our back. These are like just standards in my life that I believe, right? But who knows? Those things might not manifest either. I don't care. Like, it's not about the physical manifestation for me. It's about how I feel on my journey. It's about how empowered I feel. It's about how fired up I feel and how much drive I have for something and how much passion I have for something. That's what matters to me. And so rather than focusing on ticking these goals off your list and you know, in a way like proving to people, look what I've manifested, rather than that, go after what your soul is actually asking for right now, and then figure it all out afterwards. This is a constant process in my life. I do the thing and then I figure it out afterwards. I figure everything else out. So currently, I'm going off and I'm going to move to a different country, a place I've never been to before, and I'm just going to see what the fuck happens. And who knows, I might end up back in the same place I was before. But do you ever really fail because you've not actually gone down a step, you've just gone back to where you were? Just means you can go off and try again. Like, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, listen to what your soul is asking because it knows the difference between those big girl goals and those baby goals. So I hope that this episode has offered you a little bit of inspiration moving into this week. A little bit of a love and kick up the ass is what we need sometimes. And that's obviously what I'm here for. But ask yourself those questions, guys. Could those goals that you're currently still aiming for now be baby goals to you? And feel into that. And I hope that you guys can come and join me for this free money event. Like I said, I don't know the dates exactly for this yet, but it's going to be sometime in November. So keep your eyes peeled, because if you get your name on that list, you're going to get an email sent to you. I'm going to be showing up on my stories every single day on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on there, go ahead at I am Jessica Paul. And more information for this free money event is coming out, but it's just going to be an absolute blast, guys, and we're going to move into the next year, move into 2023 with so much fucking fire up our asses. We're going to manifest the money, the abundance, the travel, the love, just everything into our life, right? So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Click the link in my show notes and I'll chat to you all soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who you think would love it too. And if you want to let me know how you found it, just screenshot this episode, add it to your Instagram story, and tag me at I am Jessica Paul so that I can throw all the love right back at you. And of course, subscribe, hit those 5 stars, and leave a review to show your support and to keep the good stuff coming. Sending you so much love and gratitude from your girl Jess.